First and foremost, man, I just want to say congratulations to all of the class of 2025 graduates, man. I seen something on Instagram the other day that said like class of 2025 had like the most amount of graduates like ever or something like that. Big ups to y'all for real. Me personally, I graduated last year, class of 2024. So now it makes over a year since I've graduated. And there's some things that I feel like everyone should know after they've graduated. You know what I mean? The first thing is, and I think a lot of people can agree with me on this, is that the shit just flies by fast as hell. Like if you think time flies by fast when you in high school, bro, just wait till after you graduate. You know what I'm saying? Like it literally feels like just last week I was walking that stage, hearing my name get called, graduating, and then now fast forward a year later, it's the next class's turn. You know what I mean? Like time just flies by fast as hell. And I've always told people, like, even when I was in high school, like, bro, this shit is gonna fly fast, or like the shit does fly fast. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I really didn't notice just how fast time was flying until like junior, senior year. It's like, bro, now granted, COVID was a thing, so I missed out on my freshman year. So maybe that played a role into, how fast high school felt for me. But even from the time I was a sophomore till my senior year, it literally felt like everything just happened so fast. And I'm saying all that to say that you don't have as much time as you think you do. And I'm not saying that to try and scare anybody or, what I'm saying, anything like that. I'm just keeping it a buck. I'm just keeping it 100 with y'all. You know what I mean? But time does fly OD fast once you get out of high school. The next thing that I think everybody should know is that after high school, bro, literally 99% of people you won't remember, you won't talk to. It'll basically just be like y'all were strangers. You know what I'm saying? Even if you've seen them every single day, you know what I'm saying? You talk to them, maybe not every day, but y'all just, had classes together, whatever it may be. Like, literally, bro, it's only been a year, and I can't tell you half the people I graduated with. You know what I'm saying? You see these people, you grow up with them from, elementary, middle school, whatever it may be, all the way up to high school, and then you graduate and it's just like, dang, you know what I'm saying? But that leads me into my next point, which is that, everybody has their own path. You're going to have people who go after high school straight into the military. You're going to have people who go to college, trade school, working 9 to 5, whatever it may be. But, everybody has their own path. Everybody's going to do what they believe is, best for them, or what their family believes is best for them. And with that being said, everybody having their own lives, their own problems, their own things that they got to take care of. You're not going to remember or see, like I said, 99% of people. You might have, a few real deal close friends that you talk to still and keep up with after high school, but that's going to be it. I know a lot of people, especially nowadays, want to be, successful. What I would say to that is start now. If you haven't already started, what I'm saying, working towards something while you were in high school, even if you were just working a job, you got to start doing something, rather if it's, content, trading, trying to start a business, whatever you have a passion for, you have to figure out what it is. You have to do it soon. You know what I mean? You have to start, because the earlier the better. There's no better time, I feel like, than to really focus and lock in on yourself and your goals and, dreams, aspirations than, after high school. Now, I mean, obviously you're going to have to work or find something to do, to provide for yourself. But now you have, more free time, at least in my opinion, because also what comes with school is like sports. If you do sports, I'm saying, any after school activities, whatever it may be, like these things, especially if you work a job as well, like these things eat up, I'm saying, days at a time, like your whole day. Cause you still got to think, you still got to have time to eat, shower, sleep, like do all these other miscellaneous things. So the main things that's going to take up time out of your day is, I'm saying, school and whatever else you got going on. But if you haven't already, my advice would be to you to start now. Don't wait. You know what I'm saying? There's no such thing as a perfect time to do anything. You know what I'm saying? You have to just do it. Everybody's situation is different, but if you have, what you need, not what you want, but you just have everything that you need to get started, that's honestly the biggest stepping stone. And once you've stepped over that stone, you have just what you need to get started doing whatever it is you want to do it, bro. I'm telling you. Because you don't want to look up 2, 3, 5 years, 10 years from now and just be known as that dude who just graduated nothing and, what I'm saying, became a nobody or didn't do anything. You know what I mean? So, and that goes back to what I said earlier as far as time flying fast. Like I said, you think time flew by fast in high school? Shh, just wait till after you graduate, bro. Something a lot of people don't talk about as well is like after you graduate high school, like maybe it's just me, but I feel like after you graduate high school, I feel like there's a sense of like loneliness. There's a lonely period, in your life that you have to go through. For some people, it may start earlier. Some people, it may start later in their life. There's a little period that you go through where you're just, like I said, focusing on yourself, doing you, trying to, build for your future, whatever it may be. And it gets lonely. Your social life might take a decline. You might stop going out as much. You might be inside more. And it gets lonely over time. I'm gonna be honest, you know what I'm saying? It gets lonely. But I think that's one of the things that comes with, like I said, building towards your future and wanting to be successful, especially while still being young. You know what I'm saying? Like in this life, you have to make sacrifices. Do you want to go out and be partying and have a social life, all the time? Or do you want to be, lonely sometimes, but end up becoming, successful, or increases your chances of being successful by building towards your future? And the last thing I want to say before I end this video is don't feel like you're behind. You know what I mean? Especially if you just graduated, you know what I'm saying? But even if you have graduated, a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever it may be, everybody's time is different. You know what I'm saying? Some people's time might come early in their life, some people's time might come later, but envy is the thief of joy. Don't see what other people may have going on social media. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it may be, you see somebody getting money, or maybe they just got, a new place, a car, whatever it may be. And you're comparing that to, what it is that you're going through, or what it is that you do or don't have. Don't do that, bro. Like I said earlier, everybody's situation is different. What they might have had to start with and build off of may not have been the same thing that you had to go through and, build off of. Everybody's hands is different. Everybody has a different deck of cards, what I'm saying, that's been dealt in their life. You can't ever compare what, somebody else might have to what you have, or what they have going on to what you might not have going on. Don't let yourself feel like you're behind just because it looks like other people are ahead. You know what I mean? The grass is not always greener, bro. I promise. Regardless if you're rich, poor, middle class, everybody has problems and things that they go through, across that they have to carry. So you should never be looking to compare yourself or your life or your situation with anybody else's. And I feel like it's really easy to do that, especially after graduating high school, because you're going to see a lot of people. I'm telling you right now, like the same people who you went to high school with, you're going to see people have kids. You're going to see people, start getting money. You might start seeing people take off. You're going to see people, progress and regress, especially after high school. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, bro, nobody cares about your future as much as you should care about it, bro. That's gonna go ahead and be the end of the video for y'all, though, man. If y'all watch all the way to the end, I greatly appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Just something short today, something I want to get off my chest. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I can talk to y'all boys about anything. If I could help even one person, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna do that. So like I said, I appreciate y'all boys tuning in. Y'all like the video and subscribe if y'all haven't already. This ain't gonna be a regular thing, I promise. You know what I'm saying? I got more, you know what I'm saying, goofy, troll, IRL, fun content, I guess, coming. This is just something that, like I said, I kind of wanted to get off my chest. And y'all my dogs, man. I love y'all. So I appreciate y'all. Road to 1K, you know what I'm saying? Sub up if you haven't already. Like the video, share, subscribe. And I love y'all boys, man. I'm gone.